So, well, I've got Esma here. She's just actually in the process of finishing A2, having done very well at GCSE and AS level. She's in the process of doing her last exams for the A2. And can you just tell us which subjects are you doing, Esma?
I'm doing politics, English, literature and language, and German.
Right, good. And how did you do at GCSE to start with?
At GCSEs, I got 12 A stars.
Impressive.
Hard work. Yeah, and then at AS, I got 4 A's.
Good.
And I had to drop one, obviously. Well, I didn't have to drop one, but I chose to drop one, and now I'm just doing 3 A levels.
Good. You mentioned hard work, which is rather interesting.
Yeah.
Can you just tell me, you got 12 A stars, which
Yeah.
is very impressive. Have you always done well since, say, for example, since the beginning of year 10, which is when GCSE start? Has that always been the case?
I
That
think
you've always aimed to get A's and A stars.
I think it's partly that I've done well, but it's also a way you have to discipline yourself, and you have to kind of condition yourself. It's not just you can't just rely on luck, or you think you're clever enough to go into an exam and just ace it. So I think it's taking in the advice that your teachers give you, keeping up with deadlines. I wasn't very good at that in year 10, the first year of my GCSEs.
For example, at GCSE, which subject did you improve most in?
I think science and maths, which were always my weakness.
Okay.
Since the beginning of secondary school, I'd always been very lazy about them because I didn't enjoy them.
Okay.
But at GCSE, obviously, they're compulsory, so I couldn't drop them, so I had to fix up.
Yeah.
So.
But what did you get in? What was your predicted grade in maths, for example, when you were at the beginning of year 11?
Predicted grade in maths was quite embarrassing. It was about a D or something.
Right.
Which it looked a bit silly because my other predicted grades were fairly better than that. So I had to improve.
And you got, what did you get?
Yeah, I got an A star.
An A star, wow, yes. And you mentioned about, being hard work. Will you say, in comparison to A level, AS or A2, what is the GCSE like?
I think I don't want to undermine the significance of GCSEs, but I think for each context, it's like hard for itself. Like I think at GCSE that's hard because in year 9 and 8 you're very laid back and lazy, so GCSE is a step up. But A level is probably a bigger leap than that. A level really is self-sufficiency, independence. You just have to create your own. You have to create your own grades. No one gives you those grades.
Right, good. So about working hard for it, does it actually matter which school you are, as long as you work hard?
I think it doesn't so much matter. I think the thing with A levels is the teachers don't help you that much anyway. So it's just about learning to cope with things on your own more, timing yourself, keeping up to date with everything, complying by the deadlines is really important. You cannot afford to be lazy.
Because I understand that when you're actually doing your AS, you also had other commitment like music and what have you, and you still managed to get 4 A's.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
AS was a shock. It's a shock to the system for everyone. All of my friends
Right.
were saying the same thing. So it's
Why was that?
It's just so different to secondary school. I think in secondary school you get used to a much more slow routine, a slower pace.
GCSE, yeah.
Yeah, even GCSE.
Right.
Even though GCSE wasn't easy, I don't think. But A levels were just that much more in depth and that much more intense.
You actually enjoy it?
I think you enjoy it because you choose your own subjects first of all, and second of all, there's subjects that interest you and you apply yourself more fully. But yeah, if you have other hobbies, it's difficult to balance. It's like I was doing music quite a lot. I feel like you kind of have to put a lot of things on hold in your life because people do say A levels are even more difficult than university. So you have to just respect that and put.
Good. I mean, let's just talk about the significance in terms of revision. The first thing is, revising for exams. Do you need to adopt a particular mindset in order to actually help you through the rigor of it. You need to have a certain kind of mindset.
Yeah, I feel like with revision, it's just about timetabling. It's about not cramming into the last minute. It's about organising your time, It's about, conserving your energy as well.
Yes.
If you rush everything in the last minute, you're going to get so stressed and so tired that it's impossible for you to remember everything when you go into that exam. So
what would you say the sort of period between when you should, in terms of revising in advance?
If you've been
making a good start.
Yeah. Consistency throughout the year helps a lot. You're lucky that you have exams in January and in June in most colleges nowadays. So if you're consistently, if you attend and if you do the homeworks that are set to you from September till January, then you don't have to start intensively revising until the Christmas holidays, I reckon. But, just...
For the January exams.
Yeah, because if you've been doing all your homework, and you've been attending and you've been understanding everything you've been doing from September till December, then December till January will be enough for you to get at least a B or something.
Very good. In terms of the actual revision process itself, typically when you revise, how long do you spend revising?
Closer to the exam, very long. I would say about 6-7 hours a day, average.
6-7 hours a day?
People do 10 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that days when you are not in school?
Yeah, I mean, we have study leave, so I've been on study leave for 2 weeks now.
But don't tell me you actually sit down for 6-7 hours and study, or...
Oh, no, obviously take breaks. I mean, with every form of studying, you do 90 minutes of work, 10-minute, 15-minute break, another 90 minutes of work, 10, 15-minute break. And then
do you not get distracted when you take a break, say watch TV or the phone rings or...
Oh, yeah, those things, funnily, are actually quite a big distraction. People don't realise, especially with technology now. I feel like you just put your phone on silent, put it in your bag, don't look at it. I prefer to go to the library. I don't like being distracted by my computer or my TV. It's
or your parents.
Parents, visitors, anyone.
Yes,
So it's good to go to the library. If you go with a big group, it's more difficult to focus. But if you go alone, you always do work.
That's right, yes. Yeah. Talking about going with big groups, we're not going to go in there. I think I know what a distraction that can be when you're trying to revise for exams. In most cases, it's probably more socializing than actually getting any job done in the library. When the exams actually start, do you sort of pace yourself in terms of, if you say you've got certain exams in a month's time and you've got one next week, how do you sort of pace yourself to organize yourself in revising for them?
So, like I said before, if you don't leave everything to the last minute, you kind of already have that confidence to be like, yeah, I'm prepared for this. So it's just, obviously, you take, the earliest exam and you try and focus on that, but while doing bits and bobs of the other exams.
Sure, yeah.
And then...
Okay,
just in that order.
Good. Did you use a lot of revision guides as aids? What are the aids tools that you use during your revision process?
Definitely. I've got for politics, for example, I've got the thick textbook with all the in-depth information, and then I've got things to supplement it. I've got a really thin guide, which is really compressed. It's just a brief summary of every section, but that's necessary because I can't go through the really thick notes every day. Good,
yes. I mean, it interests me you mentioned that, actually, because these days it's amazing the amount of revision aids that are available, especially these pamphlets or sort of little books, very, very thin revision, very succinct. But do you think just relying on those, will you be able to get top grades?
No, I don't think. I mean, relying on those really brief revision guides, which are really thin little booklets, maybe you'll get a C if you're lucky, if you kind of already are confident with the subject, but you're not sure. It's very rare that you will get anything.
Yes. I mean, for me, from my point of view, it's actually amazing that a student actually confirming that, because that's always been my thought.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of these revision aids and guides which are good. Some of them are very colorful and what have you. But I've always thought, in order to actually assess the top grade, you do need to look at those meaty heavy books to actually get into the subject. It
Definitely.
must be that you actually enjoy the subject as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the key things about A levels. You choose subjects that you enjoy, and you should choose subjects that you enjoy, or else it's going to be a very difficult ride for you.
Okay, yeah, well done, Esma.